Hey, it's time to answer some questions on the BumbleKast. I'm your host, Ian Flynn, the crazy Bumble King, and joining me as always is my crazy co-host, Kyle JCRB Krause.
Yeah.
I
What's
don't care
up?
if we've done that intro before.
We
It's
have.
evergreen.
We have, but it's okay.
As long as we don't do it too much.
The C in JCRB is for crazy.
Of course it is.
It totally is.
Well, here we are, back at it with your priority questions. These are coming from our folks over at patreon.com/BumbleKast, Ko-fi.com/BumbleKast, and our YouTube members. Kyle, do we have anything to talk about before we start answering these questions?
I just want to mention real quick that the Morbin Time got re-released into theaters, and as of this recording, it has made a grand total of $85,000 in its re-release. Sorry, Sony. Turns out people were laughing at you, not with you.
There is some social media analyst who is going to lose their job.
Yeah. It's very...
He's having a very morbid time, so...
Yeah, the average amount per theater is $84. It means like four people per theater went to go see it.
And you know what?
Maybe like between,
or if you went because you really enjoyed it,
like 4 to 10, whatever.
I hope you had a good time.
That's great, actually. It's hilarious. Sorry, Sony. Not sorry. I do not feel bad for corporations. They don't have feelings. They are not people. They shouldn't be.
They shouldn't be treated as such. But that's a completely different topic. We
Yes.
don't do that to talk here on the BumbleKast.
Nope.
We exist as an escape from that kind of talk.
Yes, we will escape. We will escape from the morb and jump into your questions instead that are not about morb, luckily. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to start off with the priority questions here. And we're starting off with one from Afro Luffy. How would pre-reboot Sonic and Freedom Fighters react to the Mobius Light universe with King Sonic and the rest of the older characters in that universe? And how would he and Sally react to Sonya and Manic?
I think they would generally be relieved to see it all works out in the end. Some would be more alarmed by the bump in the road that was King Shadow.
Mm-hmm.
But King Sonic would kind of be like, guys, we've been through worse. Trust me. This is all timey-wimey, wibbly-wobbly stuff. Point is, everyone's okay on the other side. I think Sonic would be a little taken aback by how humbled and mellow King Sonic is. Like, what did we do that got us to this point? It would certainly be kind of an awkward situation for Amy, but
yeah,
I think where we were trending with her character anyway, she would certainly be disappointed to learn that's not her happy ending, but she is happy that her friends did get theirs. So I think Rhoda would be concerned about some of the time-space paradoxes they were doing just by interacting. But I don't know, overall, it would be a degree of temporal culture shock, I guess, if you want to call it that. But it wouldn't be the most dramatic trip they could possibly take.
No, that might be to the game universe.
Nah, I'm thinking Dark Mobius.
Or that. Oh, yeah.
Even post Dark Lord Knuckles, Energy Knuckles.
Yeah.
Whatever you want to call him. That would be a little more of a slap to the face.
Yeah, that's true. It's a good point. Or maybe they go to the Sonic Underground universe and find the other Sonya and Manic.
Well, technically that Sonic had already met them, so he'd be like, no, it's cool, let me explain.
Yeah, that's true. Well, I don't know, man. But what I do know is we have another question here, and it's from Alex GS. If you were given permission from SEGA to reintroduce Shade and the Nocturnus clan, however you see fit to do so, Is this something you'd be interested in trying? To say the least, I understand that certain fans might like the stories and characters to be reworked a bit, so be that as it may. Is it really possible to give these characters a new, clean slate and make this idea work? What would it take?
I don't know, to be perfectly honest. I haven't devoted any thought to it since it's not a possibility for various reasons. But, I mean, Shade was neat. I liked her, and I liked elements of the story, but I wasn't really fond of the Nocturnus being so far advanced next to the Knuckles tribe, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, what evidence we have, spotty as it is, of the ancient echidnas is that they were, certainly advanced civilizations for the time period, but none of them were like bleeding edge sci-fi. Like the Nocturnus completely outpaced Eggman, and they were 4,000 years before him. That disconnect just seems a bit much to me. I mean, if they had explained it away as they were extremely adaptive and they stole the other alien tech once they were in the Twilight Cage, and this is what they got the result of it, I'd buy that a little more. But then you have to work around the whole issue about they were so advanced and so threatening a species that Argus reached down and plucked them out of their dimension, which is even crazier still. I don't know. It went big. The game story went big and it went hard. I can't fault them for that, but I kind of feel like it might have gone a little too far. I don't know. If we were to bring in additional echidnas, which I would like to do, I'd like to see it just so that Knuckles isn't extinct,
Sure, yeah.
So it'd be kind of nice to revisit that idea, but I don't know how game Sega is for that. And if we were to approach it, it would have to be in a very safe way for reasons we're not going to go into.
I don't think it would matter what you did, honestly.
Yeah, well.
Honestly.
And in that case, you might as well just start from scratch.
Yeah.
I mean, I like Shade. I thought the Nocturnus had neat designs. The connection and a answer for who created the Gizoids was nice. If anything, I'm more disappointed of all the different Gizoid designs that we lost out on, because some of those were really cool.
Mm-hmm.
I liked those a lot. I don't know. It's one of those things where the more time I've spent working with the franchise, the more I've been able to step back and look at all that's come before and kind of say, all right, what is worth fighting for? What is worth retooling? And what is it that was neat and you hold a fondness for it, but isn't necessarily worth all the blood, sweat, and tears it would go into just to bring back some pale shadow of it,
Right. Well, I mean, that makes sense. I would be kind of surprised if anything of that ever came back up again, but who knows?
I mean, never say never.
And you're someone who likes to mine like the minutia of the lore, so at some point, if this were an option on the table, you'd probably figure out a way to put it in there.
I mean, like if tomorrow, I get a carrier pigeon from Azuka-san, and he says
that's how he sends all his messages, right?
Yeah, exactly. And they all wear little tiny Sonic hats.
Oh, good.
And he's like, we're prepping Frontiers DLC to tie it into Chronicles, which is now getting a sequel or something. It's like, all right.
That's not happening, by the way. That's not happening. That's not happening.
I'll be like, all right, boss. I don't know how this is going to work, but we'll figure it out. So, I mean, there's a story coming up for IDW stuff that does things that I would never have gotten away with in Archie. And I gave my feedback on the project saying, watch out for these pitfalls. This might be a hard sell. And the person doing the project goes, oh, no, it's fully approved. Now, I beg your pardon. So, I mean, I'm super psyched for it. And I'm super glad for him and his project that got the green light. It's just like, where was this when I was coming up? So things can change. Things can change. And so what I say today could be utter bumpkus tomorrow. It could be utter bumpkus now, and I just don't know it yet.
You heard it here first. What Ian says is Bubkiss.
This is no longer the BumbleKast. This is Bupkiss.
This is Bubkiss cast. It's all Bubkiss. Oh well. Here's some more Bubkiss from Alphamon or Ryukin. I'm kidding. Your question's not Bubkiss. Well, I don't know. Maybe I haven't read it yet. In the Dark Mobius Zone, it's stated that Enerjack defeated Supersonic and extracted his core. But when he summoned an army of prelates to overwhelm Silver, Sonic was not among them. Why didn't Enerjack summon the Blue Blur to the battlefield as well? Was Sonic's core permanently stuck in his super form and just too powerful to control, even as a prelate?
It's been a while, but I think there was a bit of a plot hole where the in-universe blogs we had running at the time said that Supersonic got teleported to the center of the sun and couldn't escape the gravity well. But Sonic was also seen coreless strapped to the wall. And I think some fans were like, how does that add up? And it's like, it doesn't. I have no way of excusing that one. Oopsie doodle. If you want to headcanon it, say that Knuckles is still salty over their old rivalry and wouldn't even deign to bring him back as a soulless minion. He's going to keep him in the cookie jar of cores. I don't know.
Something like that. Sure. And we got a question here from Andrew D. It might be a question. I'm not sure. With Sonic Origins coming out, I think now would be the perfect time to look at some of the 8-bit games and remake them from the ground up for a second Origins collection. I imagine Sonic 2 8-bit, Sonic Chaos, and Sonic Triple Trouble is the next completely revamped Mania-style game. They could even throw Sonic Blast in there as well, because these games get such little attention. Because they'd be completely remade, they would feel like completely new adventures, or even one new big adventure if they were all combined. Maybe a title similar to something like Sonic Masters as a nod to the Master System. And while I'm at it, assuming this isn't already in Origin, since Sonic 1 8-bit seems to be an alternate take on its 16-bit counterpart, why not throw in Bridge Zone, Jungle Zone, and Skybase Zone as DLC? Actually, Ian, you do it! It's the least you could do for canceling Sonic Underground.
Was that a question, or is that just a pitch for an idea?
It seems like a pitch.
Okay, number one, don't do that.
Well, I mean, you couldn't do this anyway, even if you wanted to.
And number two, I can't. I have no influence over that whatsoever.
Yeah.
I mean, I can throw my hat in the ring with an idea at some point when the opportunity arises, but I have no control over what Sega does in terms of games and collections. So I don't know how to answer this. There isn't a question to answer. We've taken me out of my wheelhouse. We've broken the format. I don't know what to do.
Well, I do.
Okay.
Andrew, if I may direct your attention over to look for Sonic SMS Remake. These are fan-made remakes of Sonic 1 and 2, sort of in a similar vein to Sonic Mania and the other Christian Whitehead Sonic games. They're completely revamped to a modern engine that's in full widescreen. It's still got the same graphics and everything, so it's not like a 16-bit up-res or anything. But it is like, it's full widescreen, you got multiple characters, all sorts of other, like, just new things, crazy things added. And they're both really cool. It's definitely, I'd say, the better way to play both of these games now than the original Game Gear or even Master System versions of them. So there's versions of Sonic 1 and 2, and then there's another game in development for like a hypothetical Sonic 3. So, and a bunch of other fan games as well, because the engine is freely available and open to use. So other people have also been making similar games, including remakes of the 16-bit games in the 8-bit SMS style. So something to look for. That's Sonic SMS Remake. Look for those. So it's not official, but it's really cool. Here's one from Ann Tales. The Sonic franchise isn't known for making fans cry, but there are some surprisingly emotional scenes and various plot points scattered throughout the various canons that pull at the heartstrings. Are there any moments in particular that made you shed a tear? For me, it has to be the end of Sonic X, where Tails had to kill Cosmo by her request to save the universe.
Shed a tear? No.
Not even one?
No, but I will forever remember the first time going through Sonic 3 and Knuckles.
Yeah.
And, first encountering Knuckles, like, how do you fight him? You fight robots. How do you fight character on character? That breaks all the rules. And then, the most cinematic experience we had ever gotten in 16-bit Sonic up to that point. And then Knuckles clearing the way to go to Sky Sanctuary. And then I didn't want to leave Knuckles behind. I was really, really hoping that he would tag along like Tails.
Yeah, yeah.
And there's this unique sprite. I'm not quite sure how you trigger it, if it's you wait a certain amount of time or what. But Knuckles, who is panting and resting on the switch that opened the bridge for you, will actually beckon for you to go on without him.
Yes. Yep.
And that blew my mind as a kid. Like, what a selfless, badass warrior. Oh, that's so cool. I want to say and help you, dude, but I gotta go stop the Death Egg. God, you're so cool. Why am I not playing as you right now? That moment stuck with me.
Yeah.
And I would say Merlina's plight in Black Knight. You completely understand where she's coming from, but Sonic isn't necessarily wrong. And I don't know, that the genuineness of her desire to keep things from inevitably falling apart is excellently tragic. Just good stuff.
Yeah. Yep. Definitely. I think the most emotional thing for me is when Sonic told me not to smoke at the end of at the end of Adventures of One Day. I don't remember. I can't remember anything. I don't think I've cried at Sonic either. I've maybe cried about not having Sonic. But
that's another one. I forget which episode it was in Sat AM. They get Uncle Chuck back for a bit. Like,
yeah.
he's de-roboticized.
Yeah, okay.
And then the process reverses, and it's Sonic confiding in Sally at the end. And going back and seeing that again, it's still good. It still sells. Jaleel White still sells that moment, doing a goofy little cartoon voice. That was good stuff.
Yeah, there are definitely some moments in that show that are surprisingly heartbreaking, considering how the time it was made and everything. It's I think that's one reason why I think it still is probably as well regarded as it is. So. Yeah.
I mean, okay, this is probably entirely too egotistical, but the bit when Tangle reveals that she's been infected this whole time and that she's going to make the sacrifice play, I got misty-eyed writing it, and I'm like, this is going to break people. I know I'm doing it right if I'm having a hard time getting through the script. And given the reaction on Twitter, yes, I was right.
Yeah, and then Cream, it was people were very, very sad.
They were mad too.
That too. Yeah, but that's okay. They were all fine in the end.
Well, yeah.
They had to be, because Sega's got to make their money.
No, there's a brand to be maintained. Yes.
Yes. Oh well, it's fine. Here we go with a question from Archfighter. Ian, do you think DDD could take the Deadly Six?
Oh yeah.
Like all at once? Yeah, of course.
Hammer blows everywhere.
One whack with the hammer and they're all flying like they're flying into the stratosphere. Whatever.
Like, maybe Master Zeke lasts a few seconds because he dodges, but the minute he missteps or gets distracted, he's gone.
Oh yeah.
Zavok might stand up for a minute. Like, he could take a solid hit to the chest and then he grabs the hammer itself. But no. Day-to-Day has the agility, he has the strength, he has the girth. And if push comes to shove, he can just inhale any of them and spit them out into the ocean. So yeah, Day-to-Day by a mile.
He's not even close. Like, it's not even a contest. He is just gonna smack him with a hammer. Yeah. This isn't even a fight. This is one-sided. Here's one from Off. Hey, how about that Tangle and Whisper 2 comic I've been hearing about? Any word on that? I, for one, look forward to seeing more of those two's adventures and shenanigans together. What can you tell us about it?
There isn't one. Sorry,
Why the heck not?
that hasn't been. No such thing has been announced.
So
I mean, there will be more Tangle and Whisper adventures, sure, but there's not a Tangle and Whisper 2 coming.
Yeah. Well, I don't know, man. Somebody somewhere begged to defer, and there's someone named Colin writing it. I guess apparently, whoever that is, I don't know.
There's no Colin on staff.
Who's Colin? Ian, you tell me who Colin is. I mean,
what are you talking about?
I'm talking about Colin.
Who Colin? Who?
Colin?
Who you calling?
Colin. Apparently, the person who's writing Sonic comics. Someone named Colin is going to be writing Sonic comics, right? Is that what's going on?
No.
Oh, weird. That's what I heard.
From who?
From Colin.
Okay, well, you say hello to your friend Colin and call him a liar to his face.
Okay. Colin D's nuts. Hey, Ian, are you done? You're quitting now, right? Is that who's taking over? Colin is taking over?
I am so lost right now.
Don't worry, we all are. But, hey, you know who's not lost? This guy with our next question. Batman 69 lol.
Okay.
Ian, if you were told to write a Tails, Rouge, Styx, and Whisper team-up spin-off book that has to last for at least 100 issues, but you can't use Eggman, the Deadly Six, or Starline as the main antagonist. However, you can use any other antagonist from the franchise's history. Who would be their antagonist, and how would the team's dynamic be?
Battlebird Armada. Easy peasy right there.
Uh-huh.
You got a flying enemy, so that gives Tails and Rouge a particular skill set to use. You've got a very militaristic organization which needs precision takedowns. That's what Whisper is there for. And they're a species-centric fascist organization bent on world domination. Styx called this years ago. It was foretold. The tea leaves that she saw in her porridge that day under the full moon absolutely told her there was going to be a bird invasion, and nobody listened. That, and I just wanted to stow away in a crate, end up on their battle fortress, and like do bank shots with the boomerang down a hallway, take down all the little Armada goons.
That's right. Right.
100 issues? Sure, it's the team coming together. It's taking out various outposts of the Battlebird Armada, hunting them down when they get away, and dealing with counterattacks. That's easy peasy.
I mean, A-Team lasted for 4 seasons. Why not these guys?
Yeah.
Tails
Battle Fortress goes falling off into the ocean, and Tails just kind of sits back and goes, I love it when a plan comes together.
Yes. Tails chomping on a cigar. So weird. It's not lit or anything. He just has it in his mouth.
It's actually a custom shaped mint candy.
Yeah, maybe. Whisper comes and pulls it out of his mouth. Stop that. All right, here's a question from Chaos Sonic 1. When I took a look at the original manga of Sonic, it got me thinking, 1, Nikki is a better name than Ogilvy, and you cannot convince me otherwise. Well, yes. If Sega allowed you to use old stories in pre-reboot days, would you have made the Sonic of the manga the positive counter to Enerjack working with the Hedgehog Lost Adam working with Yugi in the Yu-Gi-Oh series, countering Yami Bakura / Zork?
Hard to say, because this is assuming that, pre-reboot Sonic was following any kind of like precedent set by the old CoroCoro magazines, and I don't know. That's hard to contextualize, even in a what if scenario. But I would imagine, just given how trends went, that by the time I would have gotten on the book, Nikki would have probably been phased out entirely, and he would have been Sonic 24/7. For those of you who don't know what we're talking about, there is a manga that was exclusive to Japan back when Sonic was originally coming out. And in it, Nikki was the main character, just your average little boy hedgehog. And then through divine power turned into Sonic, the cool, superpowered superhero. No Chaos Emeralds involved, just he kind of Shazammed into Sonic. There's more to it than that, but we'll just do that for your, Cliff Notes version. So the idea here that Chaos Sonic 1 is putting out is, what if pre-reboot Sonic, instead of following Set AM, followed the idea that it was Nikki and a transformation into Sonic. And that's really hard to think of.
Mm.
Like would it be a completely different story? Because I guess you could fit Nikki and them all in the Mobitropolis setting. It would add an extra wrinkle, but it wouldn't be anything. It wouldn't be the most bizarre thing that happened in the series.
It's not like it would be a character that comes out of nowhere in only one episode that everyone acts like has already always been there and they already know.
Yeah, I mean, it would recontextualize a lot of the adventure, but it could be done.
Sure.
I suppose. I don't know. It'd be interesting. But I don't know if the idea would have survived up to the Dark Energetic arc, and I don't think it's worth considering as like the basis of a whole story point or an entire plot point. I mean, maybe that could be explored a little bit, but at that point, we are basing an alternate reality on an alternate take on a possible scenario. That's a few 2 degrees for me to mental gymnastic my way through. It is a sorely tempting fan comic idea, though. Just Archie Sonic re-envisioned with like Polly and
Brenda.
I never remember the mother's name.
Brenda,
thank you. I knew it began with a B.
Thanks, Chad.
Nikki and that could have been neat.
Yeah.
Oh well. Nope,
Well.
I am not falling into that trap. I'm not going to devote time to that. I have too much to do.
Speaking of which, let's carry on with answering some more questions, because you got a lot of those. From Dapper Shinks, what are some of the unique challenges or even benefits of writing for a kids/all ages book? Do you ever feel yourself limited in what you're able to express or the depth you can give characters? Or is it liberating knowing you don't have to worry so much about that stuff? Something in between?
Depends on what you're trying to do with the project and what your mood is that day. Being an all ages book means it's a much larger audience automatically. I feel like it kind of shifts your mentality into something that's generally more fun and accessible than if you're going for something that is more adult oriented, which you automatically start thinking, oh, well, I have to do this or it will be seen as all ages. I mean, you don't have to cross the line, but I feel like public perception of what is adult and what is all ages is kind of skews how you approach those projects, because you can do an adult project without it ever going beyond like a PG rating,
Right.
to be perfectly honest.
Mm-hmm.
But when you do that, they think, oh, well, that means it's all ages, and that turns some folks away from it. So yeah, what I think ultimately what it comes down to, I don't try to think about it as all ages. With Sonic, I just try to think of it as Sonic. And it does have its rules and its themes and what is reasonably acceptable for it. But I don't feel it necessarily very constraining. I mean, you look at all the horror and existential dread that is with the Metal Virus saga.
Mm-hmm.
That's still all ages. I mean, sure, it's like I've heard a lot of people, especially retailers, pitching the whole concept as a kid's version of The Walking Dead. And that's because there's no like decapitations or bloodshed or, there's no blood, sex, and violence, but it's still violent to a degree. It's still horrifying. It's still emotionally racking,
Mm-hmm.
but it still counts as all ages. So
It's weird.
I try to write something that's fun, that I'm interested in. And I mean, technically, the Sonic book is aimed at like 12-year-old boys. That's the primary demographic, but that's not who I'm necessarily writing for. I'm writing for, every Sonic fan. I hope everyone can enjoy it. And if the core demographic eats it up, awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. But I'm casting a wider net myself. Now, there are times where I do want to take the kid gloves off, but that's for different projects,
Mm-hmm.
If I want someone to have a swear or, show some actual real world repercussions for violence, then that goes in a different project.
Yeah. If you want it to be for adults, you gotta slip at least one damn in there. You hear that, Shadow the Hedgehog? A damn fourth Chaos Emerald? Ooh, now we have to come up with a whole new ESRB rating. All right, and we got one last question here from Dove before we take a break. Would Eggman throw a good barbecue? I feel like Eggy would have some skills on the grills.
Oh, man, he would have the best. I mean, sure, it's obviously a trap, and everyone who comes to dine is going to be captured and turned into an unwilling slave, but
this is another Sonic Boom. This is another Sonic Boom episode.
Yeah, pretty much.
We just can't stop him, I guess.
I mean, he's going to have a grill that can support 40 patties at any given time.
Oh, yeah.
And it's going to be precision engineered so that everything is perfectly seared and cooked through with no unevenness.
Mm-hmm.
And there's no uneven heating on any of the coils. And it's like, it's got that charcoal infused flavor without any of the carcinogens because he figured out how. Oh man, my mouth is watering. Think about it. It would be exquisite. Mm-hmm. It would be a fine last meal.
Yes. Indeed. I'm into it. Now I want grilled food. Somebody do that. Somebody grill something. I need a break. Let's go take a break, Ian. Let's get out of here. We'll be back. We're back, and we got a question from Dreamboatin'. All right, so TailsTube confirmed that all the Mobians live on islands, which makes me think the world map in Forces is just an island, maybe even South or West Side Island because of the presence of Green Hill and Chemical Plant. So what do you think, Ian? Is it South, West Side, or just some random island that Eggman decided to put all his resources on? A genius move, if I do say so myself.
Yeah, Forces flub the continuity hardcore. Green Hill is on South Island.
There can be more than one Green Hill.
It is referred to as if it were a Green Hill.
There can be more than one chemical plant.
It's...
I'm just giving you guff, dude.
It's really frustrating because never mind that the world map has never been consistent, but like the first two games, man...
Yeah.
Very distinct, different islands, different locations on them, and now they're on some kind of supercontinent that no. Forces got it wrong. It's just flat wrong. And it's going to be an extra bit of salt on the wound once Origins comes out and they've got the freaking islands on a map that show you they're very different locations. So
yeah,
that's the answer. It's wrong. Forces got it wrong.
Yeah, but what about Neo Green Hill?
Which game is that one in?
The Sonic Advance.
Okay, well, that's a Neo Green Hill. That's a different island.
What about Neo Green Hill from Sonic 2 that became Aquatic Ruin?
Now, it wasn't officially called Neo Green Hill in game.
It was at development time.
Yes, but
not at the final game. Not in the final game. No.
We can only go by what's actually published.
Well, whatever. Are you telling me we can never have a Genocide City Zone? Dang it. I wanted that. That's totally a place I'd want to live. That's not asking for trouble at all.
Let's change topics real quick right now.
All right, let's get into a question from Exadel. In the past, you've stated that SEGA expressed a great interest in creating new Zeti for the book. My question is, are the Zeti inherently evil? Or perhaps any new Zeti could be people simply trying to live their life, but are profiled as Zeti simply due to the actions of the Deadly Six?
Hard to say, because I haven't pursued it, so I have not gotten any direction from SEGA. I would hope that there are all kinds of Zeti, because the whole trope of this is the evil race has some dangerous pitfalls to it.
I'm getting into orc from D&D territory there.
Yeah. And I'm kind of two minds of that whole debate, because on the one hand, if it's fantasy, if it is purely in the realm of fantasy, it can adhere to its own rules, and you can just switch off your brain and have fun with it.
Mm-hmm.
But it is also undeniable that there are connotations to the real world, and in those cases, there should be more of a dialogue about where these tropes come from and how that kind of thinking can be detrimental in the real world. So I feel like Sonic is a simple enough premise and presentation that if all the Zeti turned out to be, warmongering evil individuals, it wouldn't be the end of the world. I mean, they're basically Oni, but
right.
It still also feels kind of lazy. It's like saying all hedgehogs have to be fast, or all echidnas have to, I don't know,
have knuckles. Have knuckles. Punch things. Glide, yeah.
It's kind of like, it's one of the things that drove me at the bloody wall with in Star Wars. You're introduced to Jabba the Hutt. And it's like, oh, cool, all right. And then they start saying, okay, the Hutts are the species. So what, is it Luke the human?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what kind of title is that? I thought Hutt meant like a mobster name, like Don Jabba.
Yeah.
And now all Hutts are crime lords, or part of some great galactic spanning crime family. No. Let there be mechanic Hutts. Let there be artistic Hutts. Let there be opera singing Hutts. Let there be race car driving Hutts. Let Jabba be, the mob boss. Let there be other Hutts. Let Wookiees be something than pilots and mechanics. Both ends don't all have to be freaking spies. But that's
Stinky the Hutt.
Yeah, that's me on a different rant entirely.
That's funny. Obi the Kenobi, Chew the Baka. That's good. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. It's weird. I don't know why they would do it that way. Oh well. Here's one from Finest Cacophony. You guys have established that Big the Cat is the physically strongest of Sonic's roster, but have we also established that Vanilla Rabbit and her underground illegal Chao army is ungodly powerful in their own right? So, naturally, who would you say is the stronger one? Vanilla, Big, or Cream for having a mom and teammate who scale up to being gods of destruction?
Now, in this kind of scenario, this is almost like a strength versus dexterity argument.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Who do you side with? The living wrecking ball or death by 1,000 cuts? Can Big endure the hail of Chao? The answer is Big is a simple individual. He's a man of very little needs. Vanilla clearly has a good head on her shoulders. She knows how to manage a household and Chao Gardens.
Mm-hmm.
They would be smart enough to unite.
Eventually. They might fight it first because, you got to have the heroes fight at some point in the big crossover.
But Cream would be the peacemaker. Cream sees the forest for the tree. She knows where this is going.
Yeah.
And then you have your king and queen and their entire Chao army, and that's just how it goes.
And then Big will come in like a wrecking ball.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Big, get him.
Good old wave of Bigs.
He came in like a wrecking ball.
Some people want a big Q&A.
Hey, pony up the cash. We're the Starline one.
Yeah.
And we have a second Starline one in the can that we just had. It was specifically requested not to do that one until after Sonic number 50.
Yep, and that's coming up real quick.
So we'll honor that. But yeah, if you want a big Q&A, you know what to do.
Yeah, yeah. Well, let's keep going with our big Q&A that we have going on right now from Happy Times. In a recent BumbleKast, you said that your intention for a scene between Shadow and Whisper was interpreted differently by the readers, and you ran with it. What was your original intention with the scene, and did it also tie into how Blaze seems suspicious of Whisper?
Well, no, originally it was just Shadow kind of being a jerk and Whisper giving him the stink eye. That was it.
I mean,
Shadow was kind of talking about doing his own thing, and Whisper didn't trust him, and that was it.
I don't blame her.
But no, it was supposed to show that she wasn't going to be all buddy like so many of them are at first glance, and that she actually cared about these people, so she was going to be on guard. But folks took it as a much more deep and meaningful thing, so we folded the Shadow android's angle into the backstory. As for Blaze, it's kind of the same thing. Blaze is not an openly or readily trusting individual. She's getting better about it, but she doesn't, easily make friends, and she doesn't trust folks very quickly either.
Right.
So here's this new addition to the group. She's not just going to take it at face value that, okay, she's one of us now. Fine, cool. That's what Sonic does. Blaze needs a minute you have to earn her trust, even if someone vouches for you.
Right. And that actually makes her and Whisper very similar. So, yeah, kind of a neat similarity that they have. All right, here's a question from Invade Turbo Tunis. So, how about that time Roger Craig Smith and the rest of the voice cast, minus Mike Pollock, stepped down as the current games cast last year? Good times, am I right? And by good times, I mean terrifying times. It's good that's not the fact anymore, and it's great to hear them continue to be a part of the Sonic series going forward for the foreseeable future. Wouldn't be the same without them. And I personally think they're the quintessential voices of these characters, as well as my personal favorites. How does it feel to have them back? And from times on hearing their voices through the comics while writing, how does it feel to hear them in a game you're working on? It's time to admire the voice cast, gentlemen.
Yeah, not to knock those who came before, but the current cast is my favorite set of Sonic voices.
Yep, me too. Mine too.
And when I was writing the script for Frontiers, I was writing with them in mind. So when Roger said, I'm done, it was like, oh, finally get to write a game, and he's out. Of all the timing, Roger, please. So very happy that he came back. And I don't know, I really enjoy the genuine quality with which they deliver their lines. If there's one critique I had of some of the previous voice actors, and this could come down to voice direction, I don't know, but I felt like it was a lot of character voices, that it felt like it was a bit stilted, like people were putting on the performance of characters. Whereas I feel like the present group feels like they're individuals. It sounds like the voices of people speaking.
Right.
Not just here are the cartoon characters delivering their lines. And I know some folks disagree with that, and that's fine. Not everything's going to be agreeable, but I don't know. I just really like the nuance with which they can deliver that, and I'm hoping that comes through with Frontiers. I say that because I was not part of the recording session. I don't know what any of this really sounds like, so I'm going to be finding out with everybody else.
Here's a question from John B. Have you ever enjoyed a piece of media but find a hard time recommending it to others due to reasons? Example, I love Babylon 5, but I'm always hesitant to recommend it, partly because Season 2 switches main characters very suddenly and without warning. The series does move on from that speed bump the best it can, and even improves in later seasons, but it's weird asking people to give the show a chance and get invested in a main character who does not even stay for most of the series.
Well, now I know that about Babylon 5.
Well, I mean, I guess that's a good thing to know beforehand, actually.
And how long has the show been done?
It's been like 25 years, dude.
God, really?
Probably like 20 years for being done. Yeah, like 20 years maybe, somewhere around there.
Yikes, that makes me feel even older than I am. Anyway,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and most of that comes down to like creators that are just not nice people. Like,
Yeah.
I really enjoyed the Ender saga and the Alvin Maker saga, but Orson Scott Card is not a nice person. I freaking adored Tenchi Muyo, or at least the first season of it, and then somebody pointed out that the creator has less than ideal views on women in general.
Mhm.
And that kind of sours the experience a little bit. I feel like I can kind of put a bit of disconnect between creator and media if I like the media enough. It's like, there is that degree of this has brought me joy and it has inspired, and there are good things to have come from this. And then you kind of just put on the blinders and go la 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 about some other stuff. But yeah, there's stuff like that. And then there's like public perception. Like, I haven't really gone out of my way to bring this up, but I really, really enjoy Genshin Impact.
Yeah.
And part of that is because the perception of it is, look at all the anime girls. It's your waifu gacha game, but with a budget. And granted, there are lots of waifus in the game. I'm not going to argue that. But the music is spectacular.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
The terrains are gorgeous. Just watching the color palette shift from night to day is just a delight to behold. And the storylines have me thoroughly engrossed, and I'm going to be mad as hell if this thing doesn't reach a conclusion. Like, we could probably do an entire BumbleKast alone of me just simping for Zhongli and all of his beautifully tragic stories. Like, the dude is a Giga Chad in the purest definition. He is, Zhongli is just the best. Oh my God, dude. See, I'm already doing it, and I already said I wouldn't. But like I avoided it for the longest time because of the perception of, it's just another cash grab with the anime cuties.
Which it is.
But we picked it up because another game we enjoyed was canceled. Thank you, Bandai Namco, for yet again shooting yourself in the foot with the Tales of series. And it's like, well, it's free. Why not? We'll play it for a bit, and if we don't like it, we'll just delete it. And it's like, no, this is engrossing. The voice acting is like 99.9% spot on, just spectacular. It's fun to play. It's gorgeous to behold. And there's a lot of story beats that are really, really interesting. And I want to know where it's going. I haven't even touched like any of the external media, which I know has got even more story stuff to it, because what is just presented in game is great. And then Aaliyah's pointing out all these other things that I'm missing because I don't really have a lot of time to dwell on it. But like the equipable items you get, your various equipment buffs and whatnot, they come with story text in it. And it's not just straight up, this was worn by so-and-so and this is their story. It's all given in like poems or this mysterious context so that you can put the pieces together yourself and figure it out. There's in-game fiction that doesn't tell you an accurate representation of the story because it's the folklore. It's written within the context of, this is how this 1,000-year-old conflict has been remembered up to the present day. So you have to go through that and the other stuff, the other scenes, the other bits of information you come across, and piece together what is the truth. And that's just smart writing. That's neat. Mm-hmm. I'm learning new words from this, Kyle. They really trot out the dictionary on this one. It's a much richer experience than I ever expected, and it's neat, and I'm really behind on it, and I want to play more, but time is an illusion. Anyway, I have gone on a long tangent about Genshin Impact and didn't mean to.
I mean, there's definitely ones where I personally wouldn't recommend it, but I look at them and I kind of go like, ooh, maybe not. Like the ones with controversial creators are interesting, but things without like necessarily super controversial creators with questionable views, like, I don't know, Sonic. Would you recommend someone get into Sonic? Ian?
Of course.
Okay, you would, of course.
Now, I've seen this come up on, like,
but it is interesting to think about, because like, if you wanted to recommend someone get into Sonic, first of all, there's so many different versions of Sonic.
Yeah.
And then there's, there's the games, there's all the different media, like,
when I see this come up on Reddit or other social media platforms and I have a chance to weigh in, I say there's a few ways to approach it. You can either go all in
Yeah.
on the Archie Sonic stuff and just enjoy the ride.
Yeah.
Or there's like the kind of 160 cutoff where the new creative team comes in, the new editor takes over, and there's a more, I guess, cohesive drive to it. Or there's post reboot, but there's no wrong way to do it.
Right.
If you want to read Sonic comics, read the Sonic comics.
Right.
Pick it up whenever, and if you get confused, there's usually a footnote to go back.
Yeah.
And if you are not aware of all the real world drama behind some of the stuff, more power to you. Just enjoy yourself.
Yeah. At some point, you don't have to make yourself aware of that stuff. Just don't. Yeah. Let's get into this question here from Lemur Chicken. With Sega saying Sonic and Shadow are both as strong as each other, how would that factor in when it comes to things like only Shadow's been seen doing? Could Sonic hypothetically also pull off a Chaos Blast or fire Chaos Spears if he tried? Or are they simply not enough to make the ultimate life form surpass Sonic?
I think technically Sonic could do anything if he really wanted to. I doubt he would go that far because Shadow needs his own unique quirks. I think it's not so much as like literal one-to-one strength. I think it's just that they're matched in skill. Like they're going to be equally fast. They're going to be equally athletic. They're going to be equally powerful in, their comparable attacks. But I don't think that Sega is saying that anything one can do, the other one can also do.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, watch. Maybe Sonic will throw a Chaos Spear at some point and prove me wrong. But I think that's more of what they're saying. It's not an exact one-to-one strength. It's just that they are equals.
Mm-hmm. I think that's silly. Silly. Oh well. Madeline Blue Star 7 has a question. In modern Sonic media, such as the games, IDW comics, and animations, are some Chao Gardens found in fields in the open world, or are they only in specific areas like buildings, caves, islands, etc.?
I'm pretty sure the official word is that they can appear wherever the pure water is. So, sure, I imagine there would be a open field Chao Garden. I mean, the Hero Garden is basically an open field floating in a void, but it's still an open field. To me, the building is the weirdest one, but,
oh well.
Maybe they just have a very, very good water filtration system there on the coast, and, the manager goes to inspect why no one can get into this ballroom, and oh no, it's full of Chao now. All right. Well, It's a sanctuary preserve. That's a tax write-off.
Chow. Here's one from Master Sword 648. Hey Ian, I've finally started reading the IDW run after a long delay, and it's great so far. My question is, are Ruff and Tumble's stink bombs produced in the tail, hence why Tumble can't do it? Just while reading, it piqued my interest. Thanks a lot.
How that move is produced is kind of just cartoon logic, because we can't say that any of the characters excrete anything. So the way Ruff makes the stink bomber attack is that's just a special attack. Clouds appear around him. And that's the official answer.
Uh-huh.
I mean, what you're saying makes sense, sure. But, we can't really directly address it.
Nope. Only movie Sonic can fart, nobody else.
Yeah.
I'm a child, so I thought that was kind of funny. I'm a simple man. Give me a good fart joke, or even a bad fart joke. I'm still good. And here's one from Miggy Sawdust. Whose wheels do I gotta grease to get Sega to loosen up their characterization requirements? Need me some three-dimensional Shadow, please.
Yeah, it's a three-dimensional Shadow in the Sonic Forces DLC.
But he's been three-dimensional since his initial appearance.
Yeah, best you can do is, voice your discontent towards the social media channels politely, mind you, in moderation. Don't spam them daily, but just say, I want to see more range in Shadow, and hope that makes it up the chain of command.
Hope it makes it up the chain of command and doesn't get misconstrued along the way. It said you want to see Shadow run further? Is that what you want? You want to have him give him more range? Okay. Here's one from Mighty Ray. Eraserjin and Merlina have a cook-off to see whose pit roast tastes the best. Eraser has the mastery of spices, and Merlina has the power of herbs on her side. Who would win?
Well, they're both genies, and Eraser going by 1001 Nights is the stronger of the two, so he can just magic his better. That's a cop-out answer, but magic is bullshit, so there you go.
It's true. It's true. It's magic. All right, and we got
between that and the Eggman barbecue, I'm really hungry.
I know. Sounds good though. Sounds real delicious. But it was Merlina, right? You said
right. Wait.
Yeah, Merlina. Yeah,
I'm thinking of Shaharat.
Not Shaharat. Yeah, I think. Okay. Yeah, it sounds like.
Yeah, no. Okay, sorry, I misread that entirely.
Okay,
I got my pink-haired girls confused.
In storybook spin-off games.
Yeah. Okay, so Eraser and Merlina's got like interdimensional summoning magic, so
yeah,
she's got some,
I think,
potent power up that sleeve.
Yeah, I think Merlina might have the edge on this one.
And you know what? She's much better about subtlety and execution than Eraser is.
Yeah.
I mean, he put a flame on Sonic's heart and still couldn't cook him for an entire game. Yeah, all right. I'm going to have to give that one to Merlina then.
Yeah, I mean, all she's got to do is just summon Guy Fieri and then it's over. Good old chili dogs from the sky. We got one last question here, and it's from Ava Arctic. Have you ever had a dream that you could want to do so much you could do anything?
Yes.
Okay. That's it. That's fine. Yeah, that's it.
You think you're going to get me now with these whole, I don't know the internet memes, but I'm on to it. I've got Google search now. If I feel completely stupid, I will find out what you're trying to get me with.
Someone's asking, how often do we get this question? This is the first time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
What do they call it? Oven when you in the cold food, out eat the food, hot eat the food.
Well, before we worry anyone into thinking we're having a stroke, we're going to wrap this up by giving a big thank you to all the folks who make this show possible. Big thank you to Daniel H., Alex P., James K., John B., Jennifer R., Robotnik Holmes, Samuel P., Sam Cybercat, Mike B., Dave M., Coupling Crew 128, Do As Diz Den Off, Andrew D., Salute Your Cat, J. Frost, Scruffy Nat, Hero of Light 13, Chris A., Sony, Ryan D., John M., Noni, Jib, Don B., Yami M., Lee H.K., Lisa M., Chevelle, Fiona M., Biggie Bank, Blue Title Gamer, Invade Turbo Tunis, Ben W., Tick Tick, Xanderoni the Painter, Final Neil, Jonathan D., Axis, Nemric, Solaris Stain, Godzilla, Dadler the Dalek, Scurvy Pirate Hog, Chaos Universe, Sonic Legacy, Daniel B., Ava Arctic, Pedanti Cat, Dove, Red the Supernamic, Pandolce, Quaggle Gaggle, Chad, Professor Rye, Jennifer H., Les, Cameron H., Sapphire Scarletta, Preston M., Alphamon or Yukon, Arc Fighter, Noah S., Corjiro Highwind, Sonic Ranger, Chase L., Nondal, Alex G.S., Awesome Cakester, Kimiko, Radry, Callan Q, Shaggy Dog, Jack the Animator, Just a Mountain Soul, Finest Cacophony, Ty H, John the Real Waluigi, Maddie H, Jolene B, KJB, and Tails, Dream Boatin, In Zephyr, Owen BD, Mox Derucival, Knights Ubel, The Marble Gardener, T Ranger, Lewis J, For Sonic Fan, Joshua S, Omega Watt, Agent Kaz, Navarre, Exidal, Patton M, Ty Cyan, Lemur Chicken, Jamal S, Leon Strife, Rhythm Raccoon, Lacey M, Wild 48, Fenris Asker, Pat, Delta God 77, Dapper Shinks, Miggy Sawdust, Pig Dan 20, Jinx, Unlikely Veronica, Spiral Warrior, Phi, Angela V, Afro Liffy, Chaos Sonic 1, Madeline Blue Star 7, Master Sword 648, Mighty Ray, Noko Nori, Scourge Time, Speedweed, Steph Cube, The Internet Person, Zay Cartoonist, Ryuko Shion, Meta Mode, Danny the Light, Frost the White Lion, Agnes S, and Wheels 282 Hedgehog.
Hot dang. Look at those names. Well, don't look at them. Listen to them, because this is not a visual show. Don't look Don't look at this show. Don't. It's terrible. Don't look at it. Listen to it.
We've surpassed 130 names. We might have to start going to visual representation.
All right.
For now, we will see you Wednesday for another Priority Q&A episode, Friday for the standard Q&A. Until then, be good to yourselves, be good to each other, and we will see you next time on the BumbleKast.
Catch you later. Tell me how we're going to do a text scroll on an audio-only version of the podcast.
That's true.
Mm-hmm. We do have the YouTube version, but we also have audio version. So, audio only. I think you're just stuck reading names, dude.
Yeah, all right. Well, at least we figured out now to do it all in advance.
Yes. Text to speech. that's
and to give a big thank you, we're going to call in Metal Ian.
Yep. Your clone.
Just a second.
Oh, you're going to get some grill stuff? How dare you?
I wish.
You've been listening to the BumbleKast, a co-production of Bumble King Comics and the KNGI Network. Original theme music composed by Ken Coda Snyder. Remixed intro by T-Lopes. Find out more information, along with podcast feeder links, MP3 downloads, and more at bumbleking.com and kngi.org. There's some people who didn't like my awkwardness. It's like, well, I can't help you there. That's what you're going to get with me.
There was one or two saying, Ian's awkward silence in reaction to you, and it's like, well,
that's part of it.
Yeah, I've caught myself doing it because I'm smiling.
It's part of the joke.
I also do kind of that silent laugh type of thing.
Yeah,
that doesn't translate to an audio only format.
No.
So I need to be more mindful of that.
Oh, that's okay. I always just assume we were sitting there like, this guy. I hate this guy.
I mean, we could fix that by going to video, but
then you have to look at me, no. and I don't want to look at you. Don't want to look at me.
I mean, I like the fact that I can just pop on the mic and I don't have to get myself all gussied up.
Yeah.
That and if you're in front of the camera, you have to be aware of how you look when you're answering questions, and that adds a whole other layer to
it.
A lot of requests for timestamps.
A few, yeah. I said, well, if you want to provide them, cool. Somebody wants to provide them, we'll pin them to the top comment. Yeah, that's fine.
We'd have to change our intro text because we don't have enough room for all the questions, but...
Well, no, I'm just saying, you don't even have to put timestamps on or you don't have to put the questions next to the timestamps. Just put the timestamps. It's like question 1, question 2, question 3.
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, people will want more than that, but you can't with the YouTube character limit.
They'll get over
Especially
it.
when we get, paragraph long questions that should be one sentence.
No, that never happens. What are you talking about?